Good morning. Morning, Bones. So now that we're done taking a look at how the Earth changes from the outside because of weathering and erosion from external forces, now let's take a look at how the Earth changes from the inside out instead. Okay, so before it was like a haircut. Now it's changing from the inside out. So the forces are a lot larger that are involved here. So internal forces are so strong, okay, that the Earth can actually make mountains. It causes earthquakes and causes volcanoes, okay, because the forces that are coming from inside of the Earth. So they're a lot stronger than the forces of weathering on the outside of the Earth. So now, where do they come from? Well, the interior of the Earth we've talked about is very hot, and it's got this liquid hot magma that flows around, okay? Well, while this magma is flowing around underneath our feet, it causes us or the Earth's crust to move. So it's kind of like this. It's kind of like throwing a stick in a stream. Okay, the stream is going to flow downhill, and it's going to carry the stick with it. So underneath all the land, we have this magma flowing in circles. We call them convection cycles or convection currents. You can see here. Okay, so the magma heats up, it rises, and then it slides over as it cools and goes back down to the Earth for it to happen again. All along that time, the Earth is going to be moving on top of it. Okay, it's almost like throwing a beach ball in a pool, okay, and watching the beach ball flow wherever the water goes. That's what's happening to us. We are merely on top of this liquid hot magma as it's flowing around different directions, causing the Earth's crust to move. Now, what happens as a result? Well, if you've got magma flowing in two different directions, you could get an earthquake. Okay, it's common in California. Um, if there is a hole that gets punctured in the Earth's crust due to the moving convection currents, then you can get a volcanic eruption. The entire Hawaiian Islands are an island of volcanic eruptions and volcanoes. If you have two sets of crust getting pushed towards and into each other, you can get a creation of mountains because there's nowhere for the Earth's crust to go, so it goes up. And we can also get new ocean floor, which we call ocean basins, just means ocean base. Okay. Now, how does this happen? These internal forces we call them folding and faulting. Okay, folding and faulting. Those are the two internal forces that cause the Earth's crust to change. So let's take a look. This is what happens to a rock when it folds. Okay, now just think of folding laundry. When you fold your laundry, you don't tear your laundry. Your laundry doesn't break or anything like that. It just folds. So folding is the force in the Earth's crust that presses rock together and causes it to bend. Okay, so when you fold something, it bends. So this is the bending of rock, and you can see it right here. You can see how this rock got pushed together, and you can see this rock is bending all over the place. The rock did not break, and that's important. Okay, folding is the bending of rock, but not the breaking of it. Okay, so folding is the bending of rock because the forces underneath it are pressing those rocks together, causing it to fold. Okay, now a fault is a little different. Okay, a fault is when the rock actually cracks. Okay, so or is broken. So a fault is when those internal forces from the liquid hot magma moving all around, okay, squeezes or pushes or pulls the rock so much that it snaps like a rubber band or it snaps like a twig. Okay, um, and so these cracks or these breaks are called faults. You may have heard of something called a fault line. Okay, that's areas in the Earth's crust that actually start to crack open. The most famous one is California. It's the San Andreas Fault. Here's a picture of it here. So what's happening is this part of California, of Southern California, is moving one direction due to the liquid hot magma in the mantle underneath the Earth's crust. And this part of California is being moved in the other direction. Okay, so if you take a piece of paper, all right, and you pull half the paper one way, half the paper the other, it's going to tear. That's exactly what's happening in Southern California underneath the San Andreas Fault. Okay, so folding is the bending of rock, faulting is the breaking of that rock. Okay, due to internal forces that are coming from the liquid hot magma spinning in circles that we call convection currents. Okay, underneath the Earth's surface.